Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about the polymorphism concept in C++. Polymorphism in C++ having of two types. First is a compile time polymorphism and second is a runtime polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism is also called as a static or early binding. That means the functions are get compiled at the compile time only, or they get binded with the memory at the compile time only. That is called as a early binding. Example of the compile time polymorphism is a function and operator overloading. Function overloading and operator overloading. Whereas second type of polymorphism is nothing but a runtime polymorphism, which is also called as a dynamic or late binding. That means function call at the runtime, that is called as a runtime polymorphism. And example of the runtime polymorphism is a virtual function. Now next is that whether the base class pointers can point to the derived class object. Yes, it is possible in the C++ base class pointer can point to the derived class object. Now how to create the base class pointer to point to the derived class object? Here we take the example. Here we are creating a class B as a base class with a simple definition, whereas here is a class D which is inherit the class B publicly. Now here we are creating the pointer of the base class as well as the object of the derived class. Now we want to pass the reference of the derived object to the base class pointer. Then there are two ways in which you can pass the reference of the derived object to the base class, directly by passing the reference of the derived object to the base class pointer, or you can say that base class pointer is equals to new D class. That means a new, with the help of new operator you can create the object of the derived class and pass that reference to the base class pointer. In this way you can pass the reference of the derived class object to the base class pointer. Using a base class pointer, we can access only those member of the derived object that were inherited from the base, and this is because the base pointer has knowledge only of the base class. It knows nothing about the members that are added by the derived class. Here we are showing the example how to create pointers to the derived class object. Here we are having one base class with a one public member function as a void show. We will show the output as a show base, whereas this is the derived class which inherit the base class publicly, having again the same having this function name same as the base class name void show, which display the message show derived. Now inside the main we are creating the object of the base class and b1.show, which will execute the function of the base class. We are creating the object of the derived class and say that d1.show, which will execute the function of the derived class. Now here we are creating the pointer of the base class, and to that pointer we are passing the references of the base class as well as the derived class also. So here we are passing the reference of the base class and then execute the function of the base class. Now here we are passing the reference of the derived class and then execute the function show, and here is the output of the above program, that it show base, show derived, show base and show base. While it is permissible for a base class pointer to point to the derived object, but the reverse is not true. That means we can pass the reference of the derived class object to the base class pointer. Base class pointer can point to the derived class object, but reverse is not possible. That means you cannot create the pointer of the derived class and pass the reference of the base class object to that derived class pointer. It is not possible. That means here we are creating the object of base class and passing the reference of that base class to the pointer of the derived class object. This is not possible, and here the compiler will create the error. To the base class pointer you can pass the reference of the derived class, but reverse is not possible. We can perform a downcast with the help of typecasting, but should use it with a caution. That means if you want to do so, you can do the downcasting of the base class object or base class pointer. In that case it is possible by downcasting with the help of typecasting. Let us take example. If we have a class base, then we have a derived class which publicly derived from the base class, and here we have one more class xyz, which have no relation with the base class as well as the derived class. Then if we write, say here we are creating one object of the base class as well as one pointer of the base class. Here we are creating the object of the derived class, and here we are passing the reference of the derived object to the pointer of the base class, and then it is valid. Compiler will create no error. Now we are creating the pointer of the derived class, and here we are passing the reference of here we are passing the reference of the base class pointer to the pointer of the derived class. Then here compiler will create the error, because as we said that base class pointer can point to the derived class object, but derived class pointer cannot point to the base class object. And if we want to do so, we need to do the downcasting, and when we do the downcasting, at that time it is possible. Here we are creating the downcasting of the pointer of the base class. We are saying derived star, we are typecasting that pointer of the base class, and then we can say that we are passing the reference of this pointer to the pointer of the derived class. Now here we are creating the object of the class xyz. We have this class xyz don't have any relations with the derived class as well as the base class. And if we are saying downcasting the pointer of this object and passing to the pointer of the derived class, then it is an invalid casting. There is no compiler error, but it caused the runtime error because it is an invalid casting. There is no relationship between the xyz and derived class, so it will cause the runtime error. In fact, using typecasting, we can use pointer of any class to point to an object of any other class. The compiler will not complain for that purpose. During runtime, the address assignment will also succeed. But if we use the pointer to access any member, then it may cause the runtime error. Pointer arithmetic is relative to the data type the pointer is declared as pointing to. If we point a base pointer to the derived object and then increment the pointer, it will not be pointing to the next derived object. It will be pointing to the next base object. So be careful about this. In C++, only public inheritance support the perfect ISA relationship. In case of private and protected inheritance, we cannot treat a derived class object in the same way as a base class object. Public members of the base class becomes a private or protected in the derived class and hence cannot be accessed directly by others choosing derived class object. If we use private or protected inheritance, we cannot assign the address of a derived class object to a base class pointer directly. We can use typecasting, but it makes the program logic and structure complicated. We need to remember that when you are using private or protected inheritance, in that case, you cannot directly pass the reference of the derived class object to the base class pointer directly. You need to use the typecasting at that time. So here we come to the final decision that runtime polymorphism is not automatically activated in C++. And if we want to activate it or we want to use it, we need to take help of virtual function as well as the base class pointer to point to the derived class object. With the help of these two concepts, we can achieve the runtime polymorphism in C++. Now where this polymorphism is get applied: early binding, normal function, overloaded function, non-virtual members, friend functions, resolve at compile time. Next is very efficient. Last but lacks flexibility. This is the basic difference between the early binding and the late binding. That early binding supports overloaded function, overloading of the function, non-virtual member and friend function. It resolve at compile time only. It is very efficient but lacks the flexibility. Whereas late binding is possible through the virtual function which is accessed via a base class pointer. It resolves at a runtime. It's quite flexible during the runtime, but has runtime overhead slows down the program execution. This is the basic difference between the early binding and late binding. I hope this session will be helpful for you. Thank you.